Hello, everybody.
Ashley Collins. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Can I have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Ashley Collins, 1/18/2000.
Ms. Collins, you're making a first appearance arraignment on a charge of driving while suspended in the third degree. That is a simple misdemeanor. It's subject to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. I did review the associated police reports with your case, and I did find what is called probable cause. Because this is a criminal charge, ma'am, you have several important rights today, including the right to remain silent, the right to a speedy and public trial, and the right to an attorney. Would you like to be screened today, ma'am, for a court-appointed attorney?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
Okay. Are you planning on representing yourself and talking to the city attorney?
Yes.
Okay. We will schedule a time to do that. So at this point, we are going to enter a not guilty plea that's going to preserve.
Is there a way to plead guilty, sir?
You know, the example I give folks is you don't have any idea what this punishment or the sanction is going to be. I think like anything else, it is generally best to at least figure out what the city attorney's office is going to be requesting before you enter the guilty plea.
Okay.
And then if you still want to plead guilty, you absolutely can.
Okay.
But for the time being, we're going to enter a not guilty plea. I'm going to assign 2 future court dates. The first is going to be on the 2nd of January, 2025. That's at 2 p.m. You can be in person that day or on Zoom, but you do need to be here. If the matter doesn't resolve that day, we're going to schedule a readiness hearing for the 30th of January, 2025, also at 2 p.m. I am releasing you at this time on your recognizance with conditions not to violate any laws, to notify the court of any change of address or phone number, and not to drive without a valid license or insurance. So the city attorney can be in touch with you. Is there a phone number I can write on the form here? Okay. We're going to get you some documents, Ms. Collins, over at the desk by the door. You're also going to get some contact information from the city attorney's office so you can be in touch with them, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Tucker Seamson? Good morning, sir. And if I could have you just state your name and date of birth, please, for the record.
Tucker Seamson, August 17th, 2005.
Mr. Seamson, you're making a first appearance arraignment on a charge of reckless driving. Reckless driving, sir, is a gross misdemeanor in the state of Washington. It's subject to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. This is also a charge if you are convicted of it that carries a 30-day mandatory license suspension and 3 years of what is called SR-22 insurance. I have reviewed the associated police reports with the case and I have found probable cause. Because this is a criminal charge, sir, you have several important rights today, including the right to remain silent, the right to a speedy and public trial, and the right to an attorney. Would you like to be screened today, sir, for a court-appointed attorney? Okay. Would you like to represent yourself and schedule a time to talk with the city attorney?
No.
So if your plan is to plead guilty right now, I would suggest against it. You're generally a younger person. Your insurance is going to absolutely skyrocket if you're convicted of a reckless driving, plus you're adding in 3 years of SR-22 insurance. So if you don't have a plan, you should either talk to a public defender so at least you know what you're getting into, or talk to the city attorney.
Yes.
So of those 2 choices, which one do you want to choose?
Public defender.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you qualify. Are you employed right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you estimate about how much you're earning per month after taxes?
1,300.
Okay. I'm going to find you do qualify for a public defender. Court will assign Brandon Campbell. What we're going to do, Mr. Seamson, right now is we're going to plead not guilty. It's going to preserve all of your rights and keep all of your options open. I'm going to assign 2 future court dates. The first is going to be on the 31st of December, 2024. That's a date that Mr. Campbell will appear. It's not a required court date for you. Your next mandatory court date, sir, is going to be on the 30th of January, 2025. It's going to be at 10 a.m. You can be in person or on Zoom, but you do need to be present that day. Your release conditions, sir, are to violate no laws, appear at all mandatory court dates, to notify the court of any change of address or phone number, not to drive without a valid license and insurance, and I am releasing you on your recognizance. So Mr. Campbell can be in touch with you. Is there a phone number I can write on the form here? Okay. I'm gonna get you some paperwork at the desk by the door. Once you have that paperwork, the same place you checked in for court where the glass partition is, on the table on the left-hand side's a table with business cards. Get Brandon Campbell's business card, call his office today, let him know you've been assigned as his client, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Amy Picket Kenck. Morning, ma'am. Can I have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Amy Jean Picket Kenck, April 4th, 1979.
Ms. Picket Kenck, you are making a first appearance arraignment on a August 4th, 2024 criminal trespass charge. This charge is a simple misdemeanor. It's subject to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. I did review this case for probable cause initially back in August. I did find probable cause. You had previously entered a not guilty plea, and you had Mr. Campbell as your attorney. You then went on warrant status.
Yes, sir.
Would you like Mr. Campbell to be reassigned as your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Has your financial circumstances changed in any way since the last time you were screened?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, is there any way that I could? So I have another trespass charge in Vancouver, in the city limits. I'm sorry, I'm very emotional. It's the holiday seasons and everything, but I'm
Yeah, you
working.
have a couple of charges in
I do.
Vancouver right now.
I do. And it's just, things are just, it's a blessing in disguise, but it's not. I'm working with some community resources in the city limits, and is there any way I can just plead guilty to this trespass charge? Because like I said, the trespass charges has actually opened up some resources for me, and if I can just deal with this and get it over with.
I mean, are the resources going to close if you resolve your case?
It's actually opening up some housing options for me.
Good.
Like I said, I've been displaced since I lost my fiance in 2020. I lost him in a car accident. And all of this, things have spiraled really quickly for me. I lost my car, it got impounded. And I actually, for the first time in my life, been actually homeless. I just got evicted by ODOT. A friend of mine was kind enough to actually take me in until I could actually meet with the community resources with Council for the Homeless. I'm meeting with Tyler, I can't remember his last name, on Friday, and they're going to help with housing. But if I could just, I miss my son. And one of the conditions of the pre-release is not to be able to contact my son, and I would like to send him a Christmas card.
Well,
He does not want.
yeah, we've kind of gone through this circumstance before. I remember you appearing in front of me before, there being some confusion about the circumstances with your son, but that's not going to change. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. I'm glad that you're accessing resources. I'm glad that you have made the effort to cancel your warrant. You had an attorney before, so I am reassigning your attorney. But I think that there is some misunderstanding and very clearly some confusion about the circumstances between you and your son.
The only confusion I have is I don't understand why.
I want you,
I don't
And
understand
again,
why.
that's why I assigned you an
My son
attorney.
doesn't understand my mental health
That's why
illnesses, and I don't understand why. I
Sure.
have been in,
So just for a second, please. You have the right to remain silent. I'm not going to take a plea from you today. Okay?
my son doesn't understand.
Again, let's just listen to my words. I want you to remain silent. I want you to preserve all of your rights. I've assigned you an attorney. I've reassigned you an attorney. I'm going to schedule a court date in the future. Okay?
Yes.
If when you come back in the future, after you've talked to your attorney, you want to enter a guilty plea, totally fine with that. We're not doing it today. And you're also not going to make any other statements about your son at this time on the record, okay? If your attorney was standing next to you, he would tell you the same thing, please, okay? All right, so I'm going to assign 2 future court dates. The first is going to be the attorney pretrial date. It's a date just for Mr. Campbell. That's going to be on the 31st of December. Your next court date, Ms. Picket Kenck, and this can be either in person or on Zoom, is going to be on the 30th of January, 2025. can be at 10 a.m. You can be in person or on Zoom, but you do need to be present that day. The no contact order, at least for this period of time, is going to stay in place.
Why did I even have children? I don't understand it. I didn't want them in the first place, and I definitely don't want them now.
Ma'am, I'm going to warn you one more time. Okay? Please stop making comments on the record. We've gone around and around on this back in August with you. We're not doing it again. Okay?
I've already lost one child, and it's like losing another child. That's what they need to understand. I lost a child, and I hope he understands that it's like losing another child.
I know.
But he doesn't
And again,
understand.
you have multiple charges now doing the exact same thing. And you come into the court and you say the exact same thing, and then you're going out and committing new charges. So we're at the place right now where I can put you in the jail and see you next week. And that would probably cut off all of your resources. And I'm not doing that.
Your Honor.
But I'm asking you to be quiet. I'm ordering you to be quiet. Okay? I've said it too many times. I'm not going to do it again. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We're not going to play this game. You keep doing this. We keep going in the same circle, ma'am. Don't do it again.
I apologize.
Last warning. I don't want you to say anything else.
It's just very
I
painful.
don't want you to say anything else.
Let me just talk to you. Okay. Morning, Judge. This is my client, Amy Kenck.
I know. I'm well aware of what's going on. I appreciate you coming in here. At this stage, all I've done is entered a not guilty plea. I have advised her multiple times because she has multiple charges of doing the same thing, even since her last court date. She needs to be quiet. She needs to listen to your advice. She needs to abide by the no contact order that's going to remain in place. And we're going to go from there. So Ms. Picket Kenck, you can talk to Mr. Campbell today if you'd like. You're going to get some paperwork at the desk by the door. Once you have that, you are free to go, ma'am.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.